Everyone, and welcome back to Owoh's Corner, my own little corner of art. And in today's stream, I'm gonna go back to working on this animation. In my free time, I've also been working on another animation, a mini sort of fight animation using the magic system of my world, and I wanted to work on that. It sort of came to me spur of the moment, but I'm still working on my teaser trailer. This is how far I'm getting is pretty good because I'm literally almost done. I'm just working on like the final line art, and then I'll be done. But honestly, this has just been a long time coming, if I'm being completely truthful and transparent. Like, this took a while to create, and I'm a bit proud of myself. I'm not gonna lie. Excuse me. I had to sneeze. Anyway. These chairs are gonna be so time consuming. But I finally figured out how to, well, draw them. So I guess that's a pro. I was trying to get used to how I wanted them to look and particularly how I was going to connect the armrest to the back of the chair. But I just figured it out, so that's pretty good. Okay, so what I'm going for is I can definitely cut off my drawing and animating like once I get to this chair over here and that chair over there because these chairs along here are going to have to appear on the foreground. So that's going to be a separate area in which I'm going to animate. Now, I don't know if I should just draw one side and then copy and paste it on the other, or it would look better if I hand drew everything. Because if I did hand draw everything, then it would definitely give a sense of authenticity to it. The fact that I went as far as to hand draw each individual chair, that could in fact help my animation. But in that same vein, animating every single individual chair is going to take a while. Now, what I could do, in fact, is just single out this one chair and then animate that one chair throughout. And then I'll go back, animate the second chair, animate that throughout, then go back, third chair, fourth chair, to all of the different chairs that I need. Let me just look back at the previous frames for a second. Let's see here. So like yeah, once I get to this actually let me. Yeah, once I get to this frame, I could just use keyframes to keep zooming it in. Like I'll just save the same keyframe, zoom it in a little bit, keyframe, zoom in a little bit more, keyframe, so on and so forth, till about right here, this frame or this frame, I would say about where I can just have the chairs disappear because they're already zoomed in enough. Because then the focus isn't going to be on the chairs, it's going to be on the table and what's happening to it. So since I'm doing it that way, I actually don't know how I want to do this. For now, I guess I'll just keep doing what I've been doing, which is just draw each individual frame and pretty much see how it goes. Play it by ear. Well, animate by ear, if I want to be exact. Wait, so if it's called play it by ear, then wouldn't it be animate by sight instead of animate by ear? I'm just having like a chill morning. Everything's pretty calm right now, so gonna enjoy some coffee, sit for a moment, and work on this animation. So for those of you who are just now joining, my streams are pretty calm. I try to just have like a calm, chill stream where you guys can just sit back, enjoy, and listen while I work on my projects. I try to be soothing and calm. So anyway, how is everybody's day going? Are you guys fine? Are you guys having fun? Did anything interesting happen? Things have been fairly normal for me. I've just been going through things day by day. sort of taking things with a grain of salt. Make sure I don't overdo myself or overreact. Just trying to have a calm, good day. I went to the mall yesterday, and honestly, I love the mall. And people, like, kids still hang out at the mall. That's what sort of shocked me, is like, because I work in retail, I work in like a big building. Sometimes I just like to get out and change my scenery. So like I'll go to the mall, or I'll just walk around in the mall. I haven't been to downtown Raleigh yet. I might go either next week or the week after next once I get my second paycheck, just in case. But like, the mall is kind of fun, I'm gonna be honest. Pretty chill, pretty calm. Like, nothing is really happening at the mall. Well, I shouldn't say nothing's happening, but like, it's a nice little area. And like, being in the mall as well as working in retail, it's definitely given me inspiration for my art. It's helped me sort of, I want to say, problem solve and like figure out how I want my world to look and what I want it to be like. Like, I'll go to the mall, I'll be in the mall, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm in Starbucks now, I'm sitting down. Like, I wonder what it would look like if people had magic in Starbucks or people had magic in the mall. Like, would malls be bigger? Would they have more different stores? Would they, you know, it, I try to draw inspiration from wherever I am. I try to draw inspiration from and sort of see what it would be like, because that's the whole thing about making a show that is in the somewhat distant, well, I wouldn't say distant future, but it does take place in the future. So I like to sort of estimate what these common advancements would look like if I were to animate them, draw them, what have you. And honestly, it's sort of fun. Like, it really is fun to make a world and to try and figure out what the world looks like and how it functions. If you guys actually see my community tab, you'll see that I actually posted some pictures of the of my sketchbook. And I've talked about my sketchbook a bit off and on in my previous streams, but essentially I'm working on a sort of field guide slash guidebook on my world. So what I've essentially chosen to do is say, you know what, like, this is gonna be sort of a field guide or like a guidebook to my world, and to sort of give some underlying background and backstory to the places and locations that will likely be seen or referenced in the show. And not only that, but sort of mechanics of the world. Because it's not just going to be something fun and engaging that, maybe, hopefully, I get to turn into like an actual book one day. But it's also helpful for me as the writer and head animator to sort of brainstorm and work on these different aspects of the world, because it has helped me, and it actually is a really good tool. If you're like a writer, or if you're some sort of animator who's making a show, creating something, I definitely highly suggest that you make a guidebook for your world. Like, I think of it this way. Imagine you're a scientist or field researcher who has just come to this world. And so it's your job and mission to sort of catalog it and see, okay, what's different, what's new, what are these strange things? Because once you go into that aspect of putting your headspace in, I'm a researcher, I just been plopped down in this world, I'm trying to write down everything, it then becomes, okay, well, now that I've written down everything, how can this be applied? How can this be used? Like, what can we do with this new location or this new mineral and element? So, like, literally, when I was working on, when I was working on like the deer and the dogs, I was sketching some animals and I'm like, okay, well, animals can't really use magic. How would their bodies react to magic in the world? Then I said, okay, well, since they can't weave spells, more than likely magic is going to supplement whatever functions and abilities they already have. So then it became, okay, well, these deer, they use magic to sort of make their horns prettier and bigger and more crystalline. Dogs, they are pets, but at the same time, they're a bit more reactive to the whims and desires of their masters. So essentially, in this world, dogs have sort of become uh, designer pets where you can use your own magic to sort of cause them to change in appearance, and they'll grow protrusions, or their fur becomes softer, or they'll have special abilities depending on your whim and your desire. Essentially, it's taking the concept of humans bred dogs to be man's best friend, and it's further expanded upon that to be, okay, well, since dogs are man's best friend, now they are more linked and attuned to man. So you do have like dog fashion and different shows and stuff like that. Like in this world, dogs and canines in general have a higher affinity rate and a higher capacity rate to become familiars. Second is cats, and then third is owls and whatever other creature you may want. Because previously, dogs have been sort of bred to coexist with humans. So that's the explanation for their high affinity rate. And I've also been working on different locations that are highly dense in magic and magic particles. So essentially, to sum it up, during the cascade is essentially this big event where a plethora of meteors descended upon the earth and battered the land. And so, in that fallout, it kickstarted magic, which was sort of lying dormant. But because the meteors didn't carry magic, but what they did do was they sort of supercharged it. They supercharged the earth into, it was sort of like this surge that caused magic to spark and jumpstart. So in this cascade period, there was a lot of magic being moved and being sort of processed, which caused things to go out of whack. So we have a revitalization of the earth as well as a sort of advancement of the earth as well. So animals got bigger. They were able to grow certain protrusions and different altered altered behaviors and altered abilities. Specifically, what happens to the geography is certain areas of the certain areas in geography shifted and altered. One of the biggest changes are floating isles, and floating isles are to describe a new type of terrain, like how we have a tundra, a taiga, like a savanna, grasslands, forests, different things like that. Well, it made something known as floating isles, which are chunks of land that levitate and float. We also have other forms of geography known as the crags, which are these huge, molten, and smoky areas on the earth, around the earth, where there are deep holes and deep, sort of cavernous protrusions in the earth. And cities have sprout from them, and the people there have decided to mine the different magically charged minerals, ores, and elements there. They also sort of use the ambient magic as a power source. So they will draw magic from the air and their environment and use it to power cars, power buildings, and different things like that. Okay. Sorry for being quiet. I don't usually talk much. Sometimes. So the thing about me is sometimes I get into the zone and I just zero in on animating to the point where I can't really talk because I'm so focused on whatever it is I'm doing. And this is for really anything, not just animation. Like, I'll be drawing or I'll be playing a video game. Even at work, when I'm like focusing on a task, like I just zero in. And it's almost. Oh, excuse me. These allergies. And it's almost like I sort of don't notice what else is going on around me. And like that's good and that can be good or bad. But that's a great thing is that we're all different and we all process things differently, do things differently, which is kind of cool and exciting. These chairs are coming along nicely. Now, I mean, I didn't really want to do anything special with the chairs because this is meant to just be like a basic animation. But once I do get more people working on this project with me, I would like to maybe redesign the chairs a little bit. Maybe like give them holes or give them like this cracked, crumbled look to them. And a few more sharp points, not like on the armrest or anything, but maybe on the back of the chair or near like the feet and the supports of the chair. It looks sort of a bit ruined and crumbled. I mean, that could look good. You know what's horrible? I was actually working and I saw two people from my past. So first I saw like my friend and I knew her since like elementary school. We sort of fell out of touch after middle school, but like we've been friends and I do have her added on Facebook. I just never go on Facebook. And she saw me working where I was working and she's like, Moby, how you been? I thought it was you, but I didn't want to say. And I'm like, hey, I've been good. And ugh. Like I just felt so bad because like I went to college and my first job is retail. And like I even told her like, oh, retail is just an in between. I'm not gonna be here forever. And she's like, yeah, you don't need to be here forever. Like you're so good, and no, you don't need to be here forever. And then I saw another guy I went to high school with, and that's what really stuck with me because I'm just imagining like him, I don't know, talking to like other people and being like, oh, look at Amobi. He's working in retail now. He's working in so and so off of so and so. And I'm like, mm. That's why I'm so gung ho and really want to get accepted to different jobs, because it's like that social pressure, I guess. Like I've always, I don't know, maybe it's just something about me. Like I've always worried about what other people thought of me. So it's like seeing people from my past, it's like that they're gonna go and tell somebody, or they're going to mock me somewhere. But now I can say that my greatest fear has come true. I can definitely say that the biggest thing I've worried about happening has happened. I've always worried that somebody would see me and be like, "Oh, well, Moby works here. He's at this place. Like, didn't he go to college? Didn't he do X, Y, Z? Didn't he talk about like having big hopes and dreams, and now he's working here, and now he's doing this and that?" So I can safely say that I'm in hell. That my worst dream has happened. So my nightmare has happened. So I guess now that I've survived that, I'm ready for the next step. I'm ready to get out of retail. Like I've been applying, but like now that my worst fear has happened, maybe that's a sign that I don't know. I'm close to success, or I'm close to my goals. I don't know. Like I'm just trying to see a silver lining out of something that I've always feared and I've always worried would happen. And now that it's happened, I feel like shit and I just want it to end. Cuz like retail is horrible. I'm just going to say that, and I'm going to keep saying that to the cows come home. Retail is horrible, and I don't freaking like it. And I want something better. I want something different. But I mean, I guess in that same vein, things could be worse. Like I could be jobless. I could be, I don't know, living on the street or what have you. So, I mean, hey, if I think this is bad, like I'm sure people have it 10 times as hard as me. Like I just have to deal with social shame. People around me, like they're probably homeless, have nowhere to sleep at night. So I'm definitely grateful, and it's not like I'm just splurging my money, because I am actually saving up and trying to use my money responsibly. So there's that. I just sometimes I just wish that my plans had gone the way I envisioned them. But in the same vein, I will say that if my plans didn't go how I envisioned or planned or wanted, I wouldn't be where I am today, and I wouldn't have the knowledge or empathy or perhaps even the motivation that I have today. So I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm trying to find the best out of a bad situation, which is something that is commendable and people should always do. Is if you're ever in a bad situation, you should always try to look past yourself and think, okay, how is my current circumstances going to help me in the long run? Will I become a smarter person? Will I become more kind or more wise? So even though I don't like my present state, and I don't like my present state, I'm still going to try and find the good in it. Because I'm telling you right now, I have networked with a lot of people. Like, a lot of people know my name, a lot of people know my YouTube channel. I've certainly met a lot of kind and interesting people. So that is definitely a good thing that I've learned and been able to do. I've also gotten better at like scheduling and planning my time because even though I work retail, I work a job, I still manage to draw, I still manage to animate on time, I still manage to do pretty much everything I need to or want to do. I have capital now, I have money, so now I can work towards different things and different assets that I may need in the future. So yeah, I guess there is good and bad in my present state. And I've almost reached an hour in, so I'm definitely gonna try and go for like 2 hours. I mean, literally, the hardest thing is to just draw chairs over and over and over again because it's somewhat boring. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Then again, animation is tedious work, and I do love things that are tedious and time consuming. I guess it's all about just pacing yourself, not trying to do too much or overwork yourself. Hmm. I think it's time for me to clear my history because it's getting a bit cluttered and slow to animate and process. So, I'm trying to figure out how I want to do this, how I want this to look. Because when I was roughing it out, I sort of didn't expand on the shape much. So now it's like this warped image where at least this particular chair, it looks kind of like a side view and not really a, I guess, semi top down view, if that makes sense. So what I'm trying to do is sort of figure out how I want this to look. This is a lot. Like, I'm sorry, guys, that this has just been boring for you. Like, you guys are just watching me animate chairs. Guys, I could talk a little bit. I just don't want to bore you guys. Because you guys watch me, and I know you guys like my stuff, but, like, because I know for a fact that this is going to be hard to watch and hard to play back through. So recently, I have been watching like tip videos on like how to grow your channel and how to get more subscribers. And essentially, what I started doing was I started adding more to my description. So if you'll see in some of my tips and tricks videos and other videos as well, I started lengthening my description and adding more stuff, really trying to get not just my YouTube videos looked at, but through like the YouTube search engine, but through different search engines as well. So like Google, Bing, Firefox, other stuff like that. And I have actually seen a jump in views and watch time. I also need to work on my thumbnails too. Like they feel sort of rushed. I definitely want to redo the thumbnail I did for my character design video. Like that straight black is bad. It's really bad. I want to redo it. I want to make it look prettier and nicer. I think what I'm going to do is actually upload that piece of art to probably Premiere Pro, because Premiere Pro, at least in my opinion, has more diverse and interesting font styles and options that you can do, whereas Photoshop is, I'm going to be honest, a bit limited. But I definitely want to redo that thumbnail. I'm also planning on working on another sort of tips and tricks video about art envy. That's actually a video I've been working on for a while, because even though I have a plan for it, I do kind of want to condense it, because it appears as though my shorter videos get more views. So like I want to shorten my videos so it can be like straight to the point, and I also need to work on my thumbnails. But I do have a nice sort of thought or image for the thumbnail, which is going to be like this guy, and he has sort of like this snake wrapped around his neck, and like he's facing one direction but the snake is facing a different direction. So that's going to look pretty cool once I draw it and do that. Likely what else is going to happen is after I finish this stream, I'm probably going to sketch in my sketchbook. I also have my I'm also running a Cyberpunk Red campaign. Yes, I am a DM, storyteller, game master, whatever you want it to be. Usually my crew and I, we usually play D&D, but I recently got into Cyberpunk Red, and since I played it the first time, my friends freaking fell in love with Cyberpunk Red. They fell in love with the grittiness, the realness of it, like the stress and the hardiness. And they're like, let's do more Cyberpunk Red. Like, let's do more Cyberpunk Red. And I'm like, okay, I can accommodate. I can definitely do that. And we usually play Cyberpunk Red around, I want to say 10 o'clock, to sort of get into the mood, because that's sort of something I picked up from work, is because I work the afternoon shift, so like 2 to 11, like I would get off really late, and I'm like, ooh, this would feel cool for like a vampire game, like Vampire the Masquerade, or even Cyberpunk Red. So I'm like, you know what? I want to play a new campaign. I want to do something new with Cyberpunk. And so that's what I chose to do. And now I'm just like, we've been this tonight is gonna be our It's either going to be our third or fourth session, I believe, because we had like a mini session zero, and that's what got our feet wet. Then after that, we had a session one and two proper, where they get their mission briefing. They sort of try and plan what they're gonna do, and then they go out in the field and try to do a mission. And that was when all hell broke loose, because I said, Cyberpunk is a gritty story. It's very hard. Like it's not like D&D where everyone's friends and buddy buddy. Like you're gonna be out for yourself, and you need to watch who you put your trust into. And so how our last session ended was the the techie and the nomad. Okay, so the techie is like the inventor. She invents things, and then the nomad, he's like the getaway driver. They actually ended up pulling out pulling out their guns our on the media and the rocker boy. And they're like, nah, nobody gets in until the medtech gets in. Because for their stories, the techie and the nomad, they're actually friends with the doc with the medtech. So it's like they're a sort of mini crew of like friends who have been on missions before in the past. So it's like that they know each other. It's just the fixer was playing like this big job about how the crew needs to infiltrate this big corpo party shindig or whatever. And so they're like, yeah, like we're a group, and the nomad even said like nobody's getting in the car until the doc gets in the car first, and the doc has the item that they need, which is like this shard that has a guest list on it. And one of the party members got in the car, and the techie pulled her assault rifle on the rocker boy. And so it's like this whole drama filled thing where they're being chased down by tiger claws, but in that same vein, they need to cooperate and work together to get out alive. Because again, not this is cyberpunk and not D&D. So you're not gonna heal like normal. You're not this powerful being. You're just a guy or a girl, and you're trying to make ends meet. So it's really fun and it's really gritty, and I definitely suggest people give it a try. Like you're gonna have some fun with that system. Hmm. I wonder if there's a. Oh yeah, there is a way for me to edit multiple layers. Why didn't I think of that? Instead of just selecting all of them hand by hand. Edit multiple layers. I'm gonna go from here to, I believe, here. Ugh. Okay, this is gonna be something. Easy. At least it feels easy. Um, I'm sure there was probably a bunch of. No, it was really that simple. I do want to add like a little placeholder background just so this isn't so confusing because this can be difficult to guess the proper word is process or like. So I'm going to take the rectangle shape. Let me make sure I have nothing selected. And for the fill, actually no. I guess I could give it a slight alpha and then an overlay. No. What about a screen? So the screen definitely helps, but I do want to alter the opacity just a little bit. And I'll definitely go back into let me take a loop and see what this looks like. I may actually have to redraw that because it's not really giving me the effect I want. I drew this like a couple months ago and it was just like a rough plan. I actually think I'm gonna have to overdo it. I mean, not overdo it, but like redo it and like redraw some stuff because it's not really doing what I wanted to do. It's meant to be a glare, and I guess what I can do is look at other like glares and motion blurs and other animations and say, okay, well, that's how that's done. Or like, I think that's how that's done, so let me try to do it in my animation. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to redo this. It's not doing what I wanted to do. But all in all, I am close to done. So at least there's that. Looking back at the previous dates and the previous things I've done, and looking at these newer segments like this, I can definitely see like a shift in my skill set. Like before, when I was animating glares and blurs, like they were just lines, but this right here, I'm animating full segments of like crumbled earth. And then as you see later on, they're going to become like a table. And sometimes I forget just how far I've come as an animator because I keep reminding myself of my past shortcomings and all the things that I wasn't able to do. And even though I try to have hope and stay positive, I often still do find myself wondering, what if I had done this? What if my plans had gone exactly how I wanted them to? Like, would I have a job by now? Would I be a better animator? And the crazy thing is I still have hope. Even after my repeated failures and things not going my way and me constantly trying and failing and nothing coming from my hard work, I still have hope and I still have a motivation and drive to keep trying and to keep doing more. I mean, am I just crazy or is something coming? Like, I honestly don't know. And while I still have my hopes and dreams and things that I'm fighting for and striving for and constantly trying to improve or prove myself with, it's still somewhat daunting. Like, there's a voice in the back of my head that's saying, what if nobody ever hires me? What if I can't do it? What if this all was for nothing? But I refuse to believe that all of this was for nothing. Like, I can't accept the fact that I've done all this stuff that I've tried so hard just for nothing to come from it. And I'm doing everything I can, or at the very least, I think I'm doing everything I can. I hope everything I'm doing now is considered all I can do or the best I can do. I'm not just sitting on my laurels or consigning myself to failure. Like, I want to continue to grow. I want to get better. There's a lot of things I want. I guess perhaps I'm just waiting for that moment. I'm waiting for a moment when I can really capitalize and sort of make my presence known, I guess. It just hasn't come, and I'm being very, very impatient because I want it to come now. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna redo this glare. This does not look good to me. Definitely gonna redo it because that looks nasty. That looks gross. I can definitely see my shaky hand, inconsistent spacing, just a lot of nastiness and grossness that I don't like. Like you guys might not be able to see it, but I can. And because I can see it, I don't like what I did. I'm trying to give you guys quality. I'm trying to get good, trying to grow and develop and get better at what I do. Now, how long have I been streaming for? Let me actually check my time real quick. Let's see here. About 2 hours. That's pretty nice, pretty good. Definitely trying to, pad out my time because Fridays are, in fact, my quote unquote good days, the days where I can animate for as long as I want. So, trying to, what's the proper word? I'm trying to do the best I can with the time I'm allotted. Let's see, convert, clear frames, synchronize symbols, reverse frames. I am going to clear these keyframes. Next, I'm going to add a frame right here. Wait, let's see. Now then, to look at this right here, I'm gonna do a nice white. So I think what I've decided to do is I'm actually going to give each letter their own sort of like glare. So one is going to have this glare layer, and then the 3 is going to have its own as well. So then it's going to allow me to better break it up. And also when I composite it in After Effects, it's going to look much nicer, much more polished, and just overall better looking. But all in all, things are coming along nicely. And I know I was supposed to animate those chairs, but it was just getting lazy and it was just getting tired. And I didn't want to work on it anymore because that doesn't really make for good animation content. But yeah, after I finish this stream, I'm likely going to work on another video, re-record some audio, work on a shorter script. Then I'm going to work on a thumbnail for that video. So yeah, things are coming together. Things are looking pretty good. I also got some talking done, so you know, a lot of emotions and yet at the same time, stuff. I have nothing else to say. Anyway, I guess that about does it. I'm gonna cut this stream to a close because I have been going on for a while now. I hope this is a nice little graphic for you guys to stop and look at while I do my outro. If you liked, if you enjoyed the video, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share even. I very much like comments. I look forward to them. I don't really get many, but any sort of feedback you have to offer, I would very much enjoy. I also have a Patreon and a Buy Me a Coffee in the description below, as well as on my channel, on my little banner art. So if you'd like to support me that way, then go ahead and do that. Anyway, this has been Owoh's Corner, my own little corner of art, and I'll see you corner creeps later. Bye.